Hi Sagittarius, I hope you guys are doing great and I hope you had a fabulous birthday. This is going to be a general reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Not all messages are going to resonate, guys. If they don't, definitely check your Rising, your Moon, and your Venus sign. So, I'm doing this on my phone if the quality seems a little different, but I just don't want to run the risk of going over. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video because I do want to talk about the new moon and solar eclipse happening, partial eclipse happening on the 26th. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to do the tarot, and then at the end I'm going to do, the reading is going to be general energies for relationship as well as career and everything else. And then at the end I'm just specifically going to pull relationships that are stable, and then a separate reading for those of you in a little bit of a challenging situation, maybe no contact or whatever. So I'm going to put timestamps below. So if you're not interested in listening to the astrology, just check the timestamp or just fast forward until you see me pulling the cards. And same thing with the relationship read. Okay, so let's get right into this. I'm going to be shuffling while I talk about the energy that's happening. I mean, we do have Venus in Aquarius from the 20th, go from December 20th until January 13th. And we also have Mercury entering Capricorn on December 28th. But those energies are really not as big a deal to me. The two things I really want to talk about is the sun going into Capricorn on the 21st, because Capricorn really wants us all to have tangible results in our life right now. Like, know what's feasible and what's not, and what's most comfortable for us as far as working with established structures, okay? This is a time for us to really understand what it is to work within the framework of realities and boundaries. And it's not easy for all of us to do that, but it's really working towards this long-term goal. And it's just going to be very satisfying within this influence for sure. Now, you guys have this partial eclipse happening on the 26th in Capricorn in your second house of spending and money management, and I will read that in a second, and resources. But you know what, guys, to me the second house is, because I relate astrology and tarot, I'm always mixing them together, right? So it's kind of like the house of the pentacle, because you know the pentacle in tarot represents money and resources, but it also is how we do connection with each other. It's mental, physical, and emotional connection, but it's the actual process of how we do that, how we're showing up. Okay, so once the eclipse hits, we're going to be pushed and squeezed by Saturn with this Jupiter and Uranus energy to make change, to make a lot of change. This is all about progress. It's all really good. It's just, it might be uncomfortable at first. So let's just talk about this eclipse for a minute, just so that we understand like exactly what's happening. So on the 26th, we're going to have this partial solar eclipse that's happening at 4 degrees and 7 minutes of Capricorn. So the effect of it can be felt for around 6 months, maybe even more than 6 months, because this is a pretty powerful one after the actual eclipse. So, you know, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and what do we know about Saturn? Saturn is the great taskmaster. Saturn is slow, all about change, right? Moving into change, right? We still have a lot of this Plutonian energy, which is all about transformation. So it's all this pushing. So we're all going to feel pushed in our public life, in our career, having to do with our achievements and our accountability in a certain area that's really deeply most affected by this particular eclipse. Again, you guys are going to be most affected in your second house. You're going to be feeling it in any area of your chart where there's any Capricorn energies, especially between 1 and 15 degrees, that first like decan and a half. Okay, so that just goes, if you know your chart, check that out. But Sagittarius in general is also going to be very much feeling it in the second house. Okay, so this is all about new beginnings regarding anything in the second house. Again, everything I talked about with that pentacle energy. You're going to be asked to really reassess, how do you do connection? How's your communication style? How are you taking care of your health? You know, and it's about the process and like the process of how you do these things, right? How are you taking care of yourself mentally? You know, all of these things. How are you making sure that your needs are being met in a way that's true to you and really serving your highest integrity, right? And how's your money? You know, do you need to maybe kind of rethink how you've been handling your money? So these are all ideas that you're going to need to be thinking about, because this is definitely about new beginnings. This is a time for setting practical, attainable goals, working on developing mature sense, having to do with any of these areas, right? So you want to be thinking about the future and preparing for it and focusing in a concrete way by developing this sort of self-discipline and self-mastery, right? Because that's what Capricorn, that Saturn Capricorn energy just really wants us to do, finding ways to give satisfying form to wishes. And that's where Jupiter comes in. Because Jupiter is in fall here, but that's okay, because Jupiter's still positive. It's like, oh, okay, I'm not really happy here, but okay, I give in, I'll help you out, right? But the thing is, and I've been saying that Jupiter is, it's like Sagittarius, it's like you're in a room with a bunch of doors all around the room, right? It's up to you right now. Behind each door is a different area of your life. You have to go around to each of those doors, behind which door is still serving your life, and what doors is it time to close, because Jupiter is going to be asking you to choose. Jupiter is not going to allow, Pluto's not going to allow you to say, I don't want to close any of these doors, right? You're going to be pushed to close some doors. So it's about this just new, evolving, but it's all for progress. Because even if you feel limited, you feel kind of closed in by limitations, because Sagittarius can feel very like closed in, definitely, right? Any sort of limitation Sagittarius doesn't really like. And I totally get that. I mean, I don't really have heavy Sagittarius in my chart, but I have a lot of friends who's Sagittarians, and I do understand like that feeling. But it's going to bring you to a higher elevated form of yourself. So I really do like that, right? Because this is where you have the chance to make important changes in your life that are going to benefit you well beyond this moon cycle. Well beyond. So, you know, for some of us, circumstances are such that we need to pay more attention to these matters. Flaws in certain areas in your life are going to be revealed around this time, prompting you to redo and start fresh, or to end something, because something ends in order for something else to start. So you might be called to give something up in order to move forward into a new chapter in your life. And the new might seem scary and might seem really unfamiliar to you. It's important to allow this necessary surrender and kind of like fall into it, you know, really allow it. This eclipse point with Jupiter, right? It aligns with Jupiter, and it forms a very harmonious trine with Uranus. And there's going to be a real sense of excitement here, sense of progress, some growth, improvement, you know, a relief, a release along with the new beginning now. So Jupiter, I feel like a lot of you, if you've had like plans to start a business, or you've been you know, it's been bugging you that you haven't been able to save more money, or because you want to maybe buy a home or go on a special vacation, or just have more money, something to do with money. If you feel like your communication's been really off with your partner, if you feel like you just haven't really been able to get on board with that workout, it's just like you haven't been able to bring yourself to the point of on a daily practical level to get your butt to the gym, right? Or to really motivate yourself. Jupiter is going to be helping you with this. So this is all really, really good. I really like this, okay? Especially over the next like 3 to 6 months. Beautiful, beautiful. So, and I do want to just mention, I did mention this when I started my channel, which was like, whatever, 7-8 months ago, but because I've been talking about this Cancer Capricorn eclipse since the beginning, just because I know how powerful it is. And I want you guys to think back, though. I did this with you guys back in the beginning, but for those of you who are new to my channel, I really want you to think about back to the last, previous times that these eclipses happen. So let's go way back. If you're old enough, go way back to 81 to 83. I want you to think about what was going on in your life, right? Between 81 and 83. Then think back to 90 to 92. okay, if you're old enough for that. Then think back to 2000 to 2002. And then think back to 2009 to 2011. Those 2-year stints and those 4-year patterns, those 4 years. Something was happening then. That is going to be repeating itself. Now, not in the same exact way, but the good thing here is that whatever you were going through, even if it was a challenging change, there was an upswing to it. There was a benefit to it. And this is the part of the cycle that we're in with this Cancer Capricorn eclipse now. We're in the, yes, we're going to be getting the gifts in this part. Even though you don't feel it yet, some of you may feel the tickle of it. I know Sagittarians generally, most of you, the archetype, have been doing really quite well. Evolving out of bad relationships, evolving out of unsatisfying jobs, leveling up in relationships, or at least identifying that this is necessary, right? Which is necessary for change. So I really do like that. So we have that. So let's get into talking about your crowning energy. So this is a really cool energy. Beyond the mind, the heart beats. So this is telling me right now that you guys have, it's like you're being very sensitive to just the chaos that your life has gone through and the consistent fluctuations of your mind, you know, and you're in a space where you really want to remember what it is to have a sanctuary within yourself. You know, and it's just, I feel like a lot of you have gone through a lot of changes at this point. I really do. And this is telling me, though, that you know intuitively exactly all the changes that I said you need to make. You know exactly what you need to do. Deep within you, you know what to do, and you know it's true. It matters not whether the mind, you know, seems to agree with your heart or your inner sense. Your willingness to trust your heart and to kind of go against your fear is going to serve you well right now. This really is an energy suggesting for you to let your heart lead. Be sure of your faith and trust in what you feel. Because this is telling me that your head and your heart have been in conflict at times over the course of your life. Well, I suppose that's true for everyone, right? But this has brought you struggle and sometimes deep suffering. But this energy really wants you to kind of call a truce and understand that a truce is going to soon be declared. And there's going to be an appropriate outcome for you. So I really like it. And this is a pretty imminent energy. Pretty imminent. Yeah. So if you're not already feeling this, you will be feeling this very soon. Pay attention to the signs you're going to be getting, though. This is a very faded energy. Pay attention to signs that you're going to be getting. Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's pull some energies. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. General energies. This is going to have to do with love, career, anything else that comes through. Love, career, any messages that you need to focus on. I'm going to use the standard Rider-Waite for your first spread. Okay. Two of Cups reversed. Judgment. Death. Wow. Got some strong cards here. Justice. Whew. Sagittarius are giving me the chills. What's up? High Priestess. Rock on. A little confused right now. Interesting. Interesting that you have the Seven of Pentacles in your fear position when you have these energies happening in your second house. Okay. So the energy right now in the situation is the Two of Cups reverse energy, which is you feeling like you're not able to give your heart to somebody. You're not able to continue on a certain path with somebody, at least. That you guys are not able to see eye to eye in a certain situation. And the sharing is just not It's not happening right now, and it's because there's forgiveness needs to be given or had, and it's not being given. Why is there no judgment here? There's an end of a cycle, Sagittarius. Okay, if you're resonating with this, I feel like there's either the end of definitely the end of a cycle. Or I mean, we have the death card. The death card is, some of you might be dealing with a Scorpio, but this is about, and interesting to me, just because the very Pluto energy, it's transformation. This is very necessary. It's the ebb and flow of life. There's a cycle ending so that a new one can be beginning. And this is exactly what's happening with this eclipse, this partial eclipse. I do want to also say with the eclipse, though, that a lot of times when it's a total eclipse, it means something is being wiped off the decks clean, and then something brand spanking new is coming in. This is not that kind of newness. This is going to be like a new cycle, and it's going to be slow, if that makes sense. Okay, so there's definitely going to be progression towards a new cycle here, but this means that there was a cycle that was ending because there was not forgiveness. So if this has to do with work, this could easily be that someone did you dirty at work, was very unfair. They weren't keeping up their part of the bargain. You were not being given what you were promised. The job description was not matching what your responsibilities were throughout the day. Just absolutely, this could also be having to do with a friendship or a family member where something happened that was really very surprising to you, and you're just not able to have a meeting of the minds with this person. And it's like you guys are just not seeing eye to eye. Therefore, there can't be any sort of agreement or forgiveness, because I feel like, you know, the Two of Cups energy has to do with our heart space. So it's like I'm giving you my cup, but you're not taking care of my cup. You're not taking care of my heart. You're not respecting me. Like, what's going on with this? But I get that, you know, judgment, forgiveness is needed. Honesty about what happened is needed, you know, for this new cycle to begin. And then we got justice, for goodness sake, in the foundation. And this is all about fairness and karma. But really plain fair, like getting real about what really happened. What really happened in reality. And this is so difficult to do if you're dealing with somebody who deflects a lot. I'm not even going to get into the whole gaslighting thing, but just like the deflecting. Well, I never said that. I mean, oh my gosh, that's like crazy making stuff, right? It's so frustrating. And so, you know, I feel like this misunderstanding, this something happened, or there's this I want to say it's a misunderstanding, because the Two of Cups, it's not like a negative energy. It's like you guys just can't see eye to eye. And the judgment is all about truth coming out so that forgiveness can happen. And it is crossing you, and it needs to be had so that this new cycle can begin, so that fairness can be had. Because look, in the recent past, we get the Ten of Cups reverse, which is still a positive card. It just means that you guys were not able to have this attainment with this person or this situation because of an external circumstance. And I feel like this external circumstance had something to do with this Two of Cups energy. So this could be maybe a third party trying to peek in, right? Or maybe a family member or some issue within the family dynamic, within the friend circle. This could be an issue, a very large issue with money. You guys not being able to be together because maybe you have a long distance relationship and it's really creating a lot of stress in the relationship now. Or maybe somebody has to travel because of work, but it's this idea of something external to the two of you that has become this third thing in the relationship that needs to be dealt with. But once it's dealt with, and it can be dealt with, the Ten of Cups ends up going upright, right? But I'm getting that in the past, you guys were in this space of not being able to figure it out. Now, in the near future, we have the High Priestess energy. So this is for you, and this is about just being very in touch with your intuition. And this is like the been there, done that kind of card. I really like this because this is about being in a space of honesty and truth and just really listening to your higher spirit self. And that's so beautiful for Sagittarius, because you guys are the most spiritual sign, you know? So I do like that for you. But right now, in the current situation, your current position, rather, representing you, we have the Four of Swords reverse, which is you just really not being sure about your next step. You know, you're really kind of taking a minute to think about everything you've been through, figuring out the truth, getting in touch with what's real, what's not, and how you're going to take the lessons that you've learned and move forward. But you're kind of in this almost analysis paralysis state, you know, right now. But what's crossing you and what's an external influence to you is the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups, besides being the wish fulfillment card, is also indicative of a very strong ego. So I do get that many of you are dealing with somebody external to you who has a very strong ego, but who's actually really wanting to offer you quite a lot. They really do. They want to offer you quite a lot. But I feel this sense of confusion. You're afraid that you're not going to have enough and that you're not going to be able to build. So you're afraid, if this has to do with the job, you're afraid that the money's not going to end up being enough and you're not going to end up having the growth that you really want within that job. If this is to do with a relationship, you're afraid that this person's not going to be supportive enough of you. They're not going to communicate in the way that you need. You know, that mental, physical, emotional connection. Or you're afraid that you're just not going to end up having enough resources in the long term if you end up with this person. Okay? It's this idea of lack. Okay? In the fear. Because the Seven of Pentacles is also all about building a new foundation. You know, 7 is a beautiful number because it's 4 and then 3. So 4 is the number of the world, and then we have 3 is the Trinity. So the 7 is about this new phase of building, right? And being blessed when you build. And in your fear position, you're feeling like you're not going to be able to build these things with this person or within the situation. And then in the outcome energy, we have the Page of Wands reverse, which tells me that there's going to be a lack of willingness to move forward, either in this job, whatever you're here with on your heart, whatever's on your heart, right, while you're watching this. There's going to be this lack of willingness to move forward in it. Yeah, there's going to be a lack of willingness to move forward. No more information here. Too many cards. What's this lack of willingness? Get some more information on the Two of Cups energy, please. Two of Cups energy, please. Give me 3 cards for the Two of Cups reverse energy. Okay, you're feeling that you've been needing to defend yourself and that you're not being told the truth. And I'm getting that many of you are feeling very nostalgic about something in the past that you should be keeping in the past. So that could be a job that you had once upon a time that you were remembering a lot more positively than you should be. This can certainly be you reflecting on a relationship that you were in with rose-colored glasses on. And the Six of Cups energy reverse says it needs to stay in the past. It's not going to serve you moving forward, Sagittarius. But I feel like for some of you, you might be in the space with a person, if this is to do with a relationship, where Seven of Wands is all about defending yourself, defending your land, defending your ideas, defending your truth, defending what you know to be true, right? It's very fiery energy, and it's, yeah, this defend, defend, defend. And I feel like a lot of you, and it's going to resonate with some of you, you're fighting with somebody, you're feeling the need to defend yourself when you know that this person is lying to you. And just this is making you feel all kinds of bad. And you're thinking back to a past relationship, like maybe things were better with so-and-so, you know? Now, for those of you in a job, you could be trying to defend yourself over a choice that you made in work. Something that you used your better judgment to take care of. But there's somebody here who's trying to sabotage you, I feel like. And this is creating a lot of confusion for you. Because on the one hand, the situation that you're involved in has the potential to offer you a lot of great stuff. I mean, we have this Nine of Cups. is crossing you. So it's like in its best form, this person or this job, if they could only function in their high vibration, could be a very positive thing for you. But you know the cycle needs to be over. Let's get some information on the Death card, please. Yeah, there's fighting. Battle of the Wills, Five of Wands reverse. Four of Pentacles is the card of greed, but it's the kind of greed where there's like somebody shutting down. It's like there's a shutting down. You know, it's greed. It could be greed with money, yeah, and the most money, but I'm not even getting, I'm just getting like somebody's just shutting down here. Oh, creating a lot of anxiety, Sagittarius. Nine of Swords. It's a 3 a.m. card, anxiety. You know, those intrusive thoughts that go on the hamster wheel over and over in our mind. We can't escape them, get into our thoughts in the day. But it's that Four of Pentacles energy. So I feel like somebody like maybe went no contact. Or just kind of went into the shutdown mode. Five of Wands is a messy energy. It's a messy energy. It's like poking each other in the dark. You just cannot see eye to eye. There is no seeing eye to eye at all. So this explains why we have the end of the cycle. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they just were not being supportive. And now you're coming in with the truth. You're coming in with the truth. You're coming in. The King of Swords can tell. King of Swords is beautiful because it's about being able to tell somebody's motivation as soon as they walk in the room before they open their mouth. And I don't know, like Sagittarius, you're being very, very laser focused here. I really get this. I really get this. You want a new cycle with this person. It's creating a lot of confusion with you and within you because you're not sure which path to take. I feel like you're with somebody in a situation or you're in this job that you're being pulled. You're feeling like one part of your gut is pulling you that this is not the right thing for you, but then you're being pulled that there's something about it that you love and you want and that satisfies a part of you, and this is creating a lot of conflict inside of you. And you know why? Because of the Justice card, though. I feel like you intuitively know. As being a Sagittarius, you're so in touch with your spirituality. I feel like you know, as the foundation, you're questioning the justice and the fairness and the truthfulness in this situation. Yeah. Let's get some information on the Two of Swords. You're confused. Two of Swords and we have the Two of Pentacles. You kidding? That doesn't help me. Because you're confused between two paths, two truths, two connections. This is not an easy thing for you. You just want the truth. You just want the truth. And you know what? You're dealing with somebody who has just fallen off the right path, Sagittarius. Or at least it's the way you're viewing them. At least you're viewing them that way. As a Chariot reverse is that car on the country road that loses control of the steering wheel and ends up running off into the forest, down in the ditch, upside down. Like, way off the path. So this could be either the following: someone is being given very bad advice, someone is just making very poor choices for themselves right now, but this is deeply disturbing to you. And you're coming in with the truth and they don't want to hear about it. And this is creating a lot of conflict. If this has to do with the job, really same thing. It's you're seeing things that are happening in the work environment and no one is willing to work with you regarding this truth. It's like you're just not having justice here. Let's get some energy on this Four of Swords reverse. What are you worried about? All right. Well, I don't blame you there. So the Four of Swords energy means you're like taking a break. You're really thinking about everything. And really not sure what move to make, right? Because you're thinking about the Ten of Pentacles, you're thinking about what's best for you overall as far as your Pentacles go, which is, again, has to do with your money, your resources, having what you need in every area, right? You're really thinking about that. But then we have the Seven of Swords energy reverse. This is a card, this is the thievery card. So when it has to do with swords, swords are truth. And when it's reverse, it means there are lies. And this is a fighting card, okay? This is a fighting card in the reverse. So this is telling me that somebody's coming in and either not telling the truth or they're really twisting your words around. Yeah, I always call it like bastardizing your words. You know what I mean? Like they come in and like, you're crazy. I never said that. Why did you say that? What's wrong with you? Everybody thinks you're this, you know, that gaslighting kind of energy. Really nasty kind of fighting. So it's like, on the one hand, you're thinking about what you could potentially have with the situation, but then you're thinking about the unhealthy aspects of it, which are very hurtful and damaging, by the way. This is a damaging card. But then we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is this idea of, all right, let's go. Let's, you know, ride off into the sunset. Let's create this connection. Let's go. So you really don't know what to do, because I feel like you're stuck in a situation where there's promise on Monday, but then the promise goes away by Wednesday. You know, whether it's with a person, it's like you're very caught in the middle here. Why is Sagittarius not willing to move forward? Why is Sagittarius not willing to move forward? The Page of Wands energy. Sagittarius, I do have to say that, you know, for some of you, because Page of Wands reverse, the sex card, you know, it is the sex card, you know, and in the reverse, maybe there's an issue with your intimate life for some of you. But why is Sagittarius feeling this Page of Wands, this lack of motivation to move forward? Are you scared? We have the Tower as the bottom of the deck energy. All right, I get it. And then the Queen of Wands. Sagittarius, you're watching out for yourself. Good girl, good boy. For those of you who are out there. You know why? You know why you're the Page of Wands reverse? Because the Tower, you know this has to change. You're not willing. It cannot stay the way it's been. It's falling apart. Okay, the Tower means it's falling apart. It's falling apart. The situation needs to be torn down so that it could be rebuilt, or so that a brand new foundation could be built. And I mean brand new. I mean the deck swept clean. That's very difficult to do. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult, you know. But the Tower means a breaking down of an old way of doing something, an old way of seeing something, an old way of an old relation, you know, the way the relationship was, the way the job was, the way the friendship was, the way the relationship with a family member was. It had to end. There's no question. It just became too toxic. This too toxic of a situation had to end. And the lack of willingness is the outcome, because you know this is what you want. You want a relationship or a job, because the Lovers is equally career as much as it is an intimate other, guys, okay? That's the way it is in tarot. But it's this idea of being in the situation with another where there's recognition that work needs to be done, that there is conflict here, and that's okay, because that's normal. It's normal to have a certain amount of conflict, but there's an equal commitment to working through it and working it out. Working it out. Blessing of Archangel Raphael. You got the blessing of the sun. Okay? You got the Fool. You want to be in a situation where you can be yourself, where you could feel free again. You have not felt free. You want to be able to take a calculated risk. You want to be able to just feel free and start something new. There's a newness about this. The Queen of Cups is just, you just want to feel happy in your heart space. Happy, feeling like you're in the right job, feeling like you're in the right relationship, you're in the right situation for you, for your heart, for what you need. You got the communication, you got the love, there's support, you know, all of that. That's what the Queen knows, what the heart needs in like a core metaphorical home kind of feeling, you know? And this is what you're looking for. And you're realizing you have not had it. And you are not willing at all to play this game. You're getting off. Because you're the Queen of Wands now, too. You're the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. You're just not willing to do it anymore. Good for you. Good for you, Sagittarius. Yeah, sure. All right, let's go into the relationship read. So we're first going to pull some energies for those of you who are in a committed relationship. Okay. So we'll pull a heart oracle. So my heart oracles are very weird to shuffle because they end up in a circle. Try. Okay. Oof, oof. I just read the first line. Like I got the chills. Okay. You can see that the silly light is so bright. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. So this is for those of you who have been in a committed relationship. Are in and have been in a committed relationship. So I don't know. And this might be speaking just to the Sagittarians who are either in a space of needing to rebuild a part of their relationship or... Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of feeling that more than anything right now. Where those of you who are in a long-term relationship, you guys were just in a kind of a weird cycle. You know what? Let me pull some island wellness oracles. Love, abundance, butterfly. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. We have love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. When we have abundance, keep it positive. Keep a positive mindset. Manifest exactly what you want. Gratitude. Feel gratitude and bliss. We have the butterfly. Relationship evolving into the next phase. Heal the inner child. Growth. Very nice. I love it. I mean, like, we could just finish that right there. And we're going to get some energies, though, on whatever you guys are evolving out of. New cycle. New cycle. Yeah, okay. Perfect. So I feel like you guys had this death and this, okay, so you had an ending to the way something was. I feel like things were weird for you guys. You knew that you needed to evolve it to the next phase, but you weren't able to get that new start. You just weren't getting it because one of you or both of you felt very misunderstood by the other one. You weren't feeling like you had the connection you need. You didn't feel like you were both bringing the same thing to the relationship. Maybe one of you were not bringing in the money, okay, that you were supposed to be or that you were capable of, or, you know, anything else, obviously, that the pentacle means. So the communication wasn't there. The intimacy wasn't there. You guys weren't going on as many dates. You just felt this sense of disconnection, which, guys, you know what? Honestly, it happens. it happens, especially this time of year when everybody's so busy. It happens. Sometimes we get so busy with life that we lose connection. So I do feel like that was a situation. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is all about having everything you need. So I really like that. I mean, I just feel like that's exactly, you know, let's get some death energies here. What's going on with that? Yeah, okay. So I'm feeling like you guys were going into your future in the same way, and there was this lack of motivation to actually move forward to this new on this path within your relationship, because you guys were not agreeing. You were not seeing eye to eye. And I feel like, yeah, so the shadow side of somebody's personality was coming out. So this is a devil energy. So, you know, this can be addiction, but it can also be just really low vibrational thinking, a very negative thinking, a very half glass empty kind of sensibility where, you know, not looking for solutions, just looking for the problems. You know, it's going to be different for all of you, but definitely this kind of inflection for this low vibrational thing. So it could be substance abuse, it could be alcohol, any sort of addiction, you know, sex, food, money, shopping, anything like that that became a real issue in the relationship. Could just also be this negative thinking for sure. And you being like, oh my gosh, we're like, this person's doing this, we are so not on the right path. But then we have the Magician energy, which is like, woohoo, thank you, Magician, coming from nowhere, really kind of turning things around, I'm sensing. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, this is great. I mean, I just feel like whatever cycle you guys have been in, if it's been challenging because of the shadow kind of energy, the Magician is all about moving it forward and making it happen. This is beautiful. And the Ten of Cups is about its ultimate happiness, really having what you need to make your heart space happy. So I just feel like you guys went through a weird little time period here, but everything is going to be okay. Now you may still find yourself in that time period, but everything here indicates that you guys are going to be a-okay. So good stuff, Sag. Good stuff for those of you who are partnered. Now let's get some energies for those of you who you have somebody in your energy field, but you're not together right now, okay? You're not together right now. Maybe they ghosted you. Maybe you guys just broke up. They're still in your energy field, though, and you're still feeling quite sad about it. Remember, guys, the energies can be reversed with these, right? Energy doesn't understand one body from the next. Okay. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind. So is someone in a situation where their heart and their mind are not lining up? Let's see what we get. Palm tree. Lightning. Heartbroken. Interesting. Interesting. Palm tree is about stability, security, permanence, growth, flexibility, and endurance. Lightning is about sudden change, shocking news coming in, a surprise epiphany, an upheaval, transformation. And heartbroken is about deeply hurt, sad separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. I have a feeling that the heartbroken is right now. There's some lightning, sudden change. Somebody's going to be calling somebody to come in saying that they want to have some sort of stability and security with you. Endurance. Flexibility needs to be happening. I like that one. Flexibility. That reminds me of like the Temperance card. It's like an alchemical energy, right? Figuring out what you need, what I need, what the relationship needs kind of thing. Interesting. Yeah. Seven of Cups. Nine of Wands. Nine of Cups. Ten of Pentacles, reversed, still positive. Seven of Cups, confused. Confusing energy. Feeling like you don't have all the information. Nine of Wands, self-imprisonment. You're very imprisoned in your head. But this person is your wish fulfillment. This person is your wish fulfillment. Yeah. But you're just feeling like you're not going to have that ultimate, you're not going to have what you need. This part, like I feel like this person just simply is not capable of giving you what you need. It's very confusing for you, though. It's creating a lot of stress. Because they're your Nine of Cups. I mean, Nine of Cups is your wish fulfillment, you know. And that sounds so cheesy, but it really is somebody who you kind of feel like you're kind of at home with in your soul. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see what we... Hangman. So you're thinking. There's a lot of thinking going on here. The Hangman. I'm gonna pull one more row. Sagittarius, I feel like this person that you're dealing with, they are not being honest with themselves at all. They're not. They're not. Because we have the Four of Cups energy, and you know what I say, this is like the checklist card, but this is like saying, if Sagittarius doesn't do A, B, and C, then I can never be with them, and I'm not with them because they did A, B, and C, and whatever, and really trying to convince themselves that you did something more than what actually happened. Like there's a sense of exaggeration, but the exaggeration is meant to cover up something that they don't want to look at within themselves. It's always like that with the Four of Cups energy. It's this deeper hurt within them that by exaggerating something that they identify as off with you, it almost creates this kind of like pushing away something that they want to actually bring closer to them. And it's wanting you to be something that they need for you to be, rather than accepting who you really are in totality. Okay, so I do get that very strongly here, but I get a lot of unwillingness to actually look at stuff. We get the Queen of Pentacles reversed, so there's this lack of, you know, being supportive and having that connection, and this lack, this the Page of Wands in reverse is indicating this lack of willingness to move forward and to do something. The Sun reverse is still very positive. It just means that the energy is here. It's just going to take a minute. Oh, but look at the reversals. The reversals are important that we have here, though. We get the Page of Wands reverse, and then we get the Ace of Wands reverse. So these are two new cycle energies that are reversed, having to do with will. So there's lack of will to start to move this forward, because they're blaming you for things. They really are. Right? I mean, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. I mean, this is about them feeling like they're not going to be able to grow and achieve with you, and be able to develop this relationship, and be able to like save money together, and be able to really evolve on a very pragmatic level your life together. And then we have the Six of Swords reverse, which indicates somebody moving away from what they perceive to be a toxic environment to a healthier place, and them feeling very disillusioned, right? But making the decision to move away because they have definitely convinced themselves that this is not going to work for them, because they think the issue is you. Let's go a little deeper. Let's see what are they really thinking here. Yeah, that they can't build with you, that they can't move forward in a life with you. Yeah, reversals. Somebody said was so funny, I don't remember which sign or who it was, so if you're a Sagittarius, I'm giving you kind of a half shout out here, where said, if the next time I see more reversals, I'm going to turn my monitor the upside down. I thought that was so funny. But this does indicate that somebody simply doesn't see this moving forward. But I don't like this here, the Temperance reverse. Temperance reverse means they're not even willing to hear you out. They're not even willing to listen to what you need. They're not willing to tell you what they need in order to create this new foundation for this new cycle of a relationship. And this is not healthy. To have this with the Four of Cups upright, no. I mean, all of their lack of willingness, that's all these reversals mean, is just them being very stuck in their own sensibility, thinking that they've done nothing wrong, Sagittarius. They don't think they've done a thing wrong. And I'm not saying that it's all you or all them. What I'm getting here is that they don't see their part. Not to say that you did nothing wrong, but they don't see what they did, is what I'm saying. And they're really directing the blame on you for the demise of the relationship. So I feel like, I'm going to tell you the truth, what I'm getting here. I feel like they're going to reach out to you over the holidays. I really do. And I feel like when you guys have this communication, they are not going to be owning their stuff. And it's going to be very, very confusing for you. It really is. Because they're going to be offering you all this lip service stuff. And they may even mean it in the moment. But at the end of the day, they don't want to really be honest with themselves. And you know, if we go back to the crowning oracle here, if you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. And this is for the relationship. So I feel like there's going to come a point where this person, or maybe you, right? Maybe you're the one who ghosted them, or maybe pulled away from them, where you're going to start getting in touch with your heart, and you're going to realize, oh, you know what? Maybe we can work this out or whatever. But I feel like when you guys get together, you're going to realize that there's too much blame going in one direction, and that there's not going to be a meeting of the minds. That is what I'm getting from the cards, you know? So that's just something to think about and heal. But remember, you get that the second house, the two houses, listen to me, the second house lit up, having to do with your money and everything having to do with the Pentacles, having to do with how you do connection. So this is something really to pay attention to, okay? Sagittarius, thank you so much for your time, for joining me. I hope this was helpful in some way. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.